right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of the Align 5-day reset. Let me just make sure that I can be heard. And seen. All right. So hopefully the captions are going and you can see me. Welcome to day 3 of the 5-day reset. For those of you who are just joining in now, there you are. For those of you just joining now, don't you worry. You can always go back and do day 1, day 2, day 3. The only thing that's progressively getting more, I'm adding more to is the yoga sequence, but you can always go back and watch that. So welcome, welcome. If you're live, either on Facebook or, on Zoom, or hello, or on the YouTube channel, go ahead and send me a message. I'm so glad you're here. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, do that, the Align Facebook group. I'll put the links in the show notes. That's a place for you to get the support that you need and ask the questions and really just join like-minded interpreters like yourself who are committed to taking care of your own body, your own mind, and your own energy. This also being broadcast on the YouTube channel, so you can certainly go in there. And I'm going to go in here and pin myself and see if that happens. If that changes on. Yeah, it does. Oh, hold on. All right, let me just pinning myself, and hopefully that will pin me on YouTube as well. It's the first time that I've broadcast both on Zoom and YouTube at the same time, so bear with me for the technical issues. Okay, so I did post this in the Facebook group, but I wanted to say that those of you who are here, whether live, whether recorded, whether during the actual dates that I run this or you're jumping in later on in the recording, if you post and tag me in your social media, I'm going to send you this really great, well, let me see if I can get it in focus. Does it come closer, focus, or further away, focus? Ooh, it's having a hard time focusing. Anyways, this is created by myself and a colleague of mine, and it will give you, it's laminated so you can put it in your bag, put it in your car, and it has daily habits, and also a lot of the movements and exercises and asanas I'm going to be teaching you are here. So it's a great gift for yourself, and I'm going to gift it to you. Just post and tag me in your social media. So you're here, as I mentioned, day 1, day 2, because we have a lot of tension in our neck, in our shoulder, in our back. We know that this comes from the work that we do. But a lot of us aren't sure, we don't have a habit of taking care of ourselves. And we also think it's just the repetitive movement. And I mentioned on day 1 and day 2 that there's some underlying issues as well. And yoga and Ayurveda just address these so beautifully. But I did want to address something that a lot of us do. And it's one of our superpowers, but as anything, it can be used against us. And that is we're used to doing a lot for others, and it's great. It's a wonderful gift that you have, but it can become, like anything, done to the point that it becomes such a habit that you're unable to break free from that in order to take care of yourself. So I hear a lot of interpreters say, well, I have to do this job, or I have to take that, and you might have to. But if you keep doing that over and over and over again, then the have to becomes the default. And just like on your settings on your phone, sometimes we want to change that default. A lot of people will have scarcity or fear, like I got to take this job. There's a financial fear. I'm not saying that's not real, but I'm saying that it becomes a habit. And so then I know I did this for myself for many years until you look at your schedule, go back over 2025, pick a day, look at your schedule and see how many times during that week were you doing something that moved your body, restored your energy, nurtured your soul. And if there's not at least, those are 3 things. And they could be, one thing could, like for me, yoga does them all. But it should be in your schedule more than once a week. And if it's not, then that's where the habit has become ingrained, so that it's at the bottom of the list. It should be at the top. A lot of, and this, not only are you doing your professional work, but then it bleeds into your personal life. Now, I'm telling you this from my personal experience and also hundreds and hundreds of conversations with interpreters. One word that comes up a lot is feeling guilty. I feel guilty if I take time for myself. I feel guilty, and that guilt, feeling guilty, is guilt a feeling? I have to think about that. If that feeling doesn't lead you to any other action, then not doing something for yourself. So during this event, these thoughts, these feelings are going to come up. I don't have time. I feel guilty. It's not important. I got to take this job, or whatever it is. And so use this time to cultivate another thought, because a lot of things are out of our control, but our thoughts are not out of our control. It doesn't feel like it all the time, let me tell you. And it's not easy, but you cultivate a thought, like without taking care of myself, I can't do my job, versus I have to take every job, because if I don't take this job, then what? ... fill in the blank. Or I'm worth it might be a strong enough thought for you. Or my future self is asking me to do this. Whatever you can really get behind, something that's going to make you feel motivated, enthusiastic, committed. These are much more productive feelings than guilt, for sure, and it's going to get you to where you want to go. So, right now, you probably already have identified a thought you might be having that might come up or has come up, or I didn't do day 1, so forget it, I'm going to give up, or something like that, or I don't have time, and cultivate another thought and put it on a sticky note and put it on the bathroom mirror. The other mistake we often do as interpreters is thinking someone else is going to do this for us. Like the agency will give me more information so I don't have to be so stressed out, or the agency is going to make sure that the where I'm going has all the information, or whatever it is. I'm sure you guys can think of a million ones. Like the agency is going to give me all the information about the language of the deaf person so I can know if this job is within my scope or not. And sometimes it just doesn't happen. And so then we're left having to deal with that. Or the VRS call center is going to change the way they do things, or they're going to put more professional development in, or I don't know how to stretch, or what stretches are good to do, or is stretching enough, or is stretching going to hurt me, and someone has to teach me that. Or I've heard a lot of people say, well, my ITP never taught me. No one's going to do it, and no one's going to value this, and you have to be willing to be different and go against the grain of what's out there. And then the last mistake that I think really, I wanted to save this till tomorrow, but I'm going to say it now, that really speaks to kind of like what should I call it, the internal injury that we do to ourselves that manifests physically, is holding everything in. Can't talk to anybody, can't share, can't process, and we just hold it all in. And that is a huge problem. And what we need as interpreters is a regular practice for mind, body, energy, nourishment, and a healthy support system so you can process the work that you do. And what I mentioned before, why yoga and Ayurveda are 2 incredible, like I would say, bookends or puzzle pieces for that, is it deals with the whole person. You're not just your hands, you're not just your shoulder, you're not just your eyeballs, you're a whole person. All these pieces come together And yoga and Ayurveda not just deals with the physical level of things, like the physical pain, the relief of those symptoms, but gets deeper into the root causes and balances out your internal systems, your energy, so that you just feel so much better. And so unwinds all those deeper knots. So hopefully you've been feeling that over the last couple days now, almost a week. Post in the Facebook group if you have had any aha moments or different experiences. It might be like you're just waking up a little bit better, or you're at work and you're realizing, oh, I'm not in so much pain, or you start to feel a little niggling in your shoulder, and you go straight to one of the asanas or exercises that you've learned during this 5-day event. That's huge, that you have to celebrate those moments. You have to recognize those as change. So Ayurveda, which I was speaking about the last 2 sessions, about balancing the energies in our own self and then the energies around us. And I think I mentioned, if I didn't, that fall time, which is the time we're in right now, and if you're watching this at a different time, this won't relate, but you can think about it in terms of the energy of the season that you're in. And the energy of the fall is vata. So this is air, this is space. It's a really good time to ground. You know, we're going into winter time, and it's a really good time to just become quiet. We're sort of at the beginning of winter time, actually. We're going through thinking, but for many of us, it's still very cold. Some of it's colder. So we go from air and space, which is fall, and then we move into kapha, which is water and earth. And so that it gets sluggish, it gets slow. And so these are the times we want to create more warmth and more grounding and more movement, actually, to counteract that. So I'm going to talk, I mentioned on day 2 some practice that I want to tell you about, but I'm going to wait until I first address the sleep issue that we've been going through day 1 and day 2. So I hope that you've been able to employ moving your sleep time back and your wake up time back. So moving everything back, even by 20 minutes or half hour. And again, share either here in the comment section, on Zoom, on YouTube, or in the Facebook group if you've noticed any changes. And maybe it's been really hard, and that's okay too. That's okay to recognize that this is a challenge. So I'm going to give you another suggestion. Last session I talked about disconnecting or turning off your devices and starting a winding down, like you would put a child to sleep. You wouldn't be like, okay, you're running, you're playing, and now into bed, go to sleep. There'd be a process. It's a bath, it's a lullaby, it's a reading of a book, it's a whatever. So create that same ritual for yourself. And a lot of interpreters I speak to, many have their workstation in their room or their computers in their room. So disconnect all devices and modems and blinking and electrical things. Unplug them all. If you have any outside light coming into your room, it's good to block that as well. I wasn't a fan of this because I love waking up to the sun, but I realized after this was suggested to me, I had a big sliding glass window, and I was able to do half of it with a blackout so that street light wasn't in my eyes, because I thought it wasn't bothering me. But after I blocked it out, my sleep was so much different. But then the other half, I got the sun in the morning. If your workstation is in your room, 1, get it out of your room. 2, if you cannot, cover it, separate it, unplug it for sure. All right, I'm just going to check and see if there's any comments that have come through that I should check. No, not yet. Feel free, I will be checking, and I know YouTube is a little slower, so I might not get it immediately. So there's a practice in Ayurveda that's part of the daily morning ritual, but I'm going to suggest it for the evening, and you can do it in the morning, but for the evening, and that is, and some of you might be familiar with this, and I know I talk about it in every session about Ayurveda because it is so profound and powerful and effective, and that is a warm, preferably sesame oil, especially during the winter months because it's a warmer oil. Whereas a coconut oil is colder, olive is heavy, but if any good quality oil is going to work, and it's a full body oil, warm oil massage. So it does take some effort, and you can start with just your hands and just your feet. So that warm oil is so calming on the nervous system, on the actual nervous system or nerves of, say, your hands and the tendons and the muscles of your hands, but also your entire nervous system. And it is very calming and very grounding. So our work, which is a lot of processing and movement, and if you're running around from one place to another, or your schedule's changing all the time, or you're checking your phone all the time, this increases the vata, the air, the space, air and space, so the kind of activity. And if you're having trouble sleeping, doing this practice right before you go to sleep is delicious. You would warm it up, then massage yourself completely. And I'll post a link to a tutorial for those of you who would like. Let it sit on your skin for at least 10, if not 20 minutes. So take this time to do a little quiet meditation, listening to some calming music. See, this can be part of your sleep ritual, the going to bed. And then rinse it off in a warm shower, but don't soap off the oil because it's actually detoxifying. It's pulling the toxins out, and then the warm shower is rinsing the toxins away. So have a dedicated towel that you can dry off with because it will be oily and it'll always be oily. And it just is going to be it's called Abhyanga. It will become your Abhyanga towel. So I really want you to try this because I think everybody I teach this to is amazed by it. And I was very resistant. I was like, ugh, too much time, too much effort, and I can't live without it now. And if you're over 50, it's even more important because that is the vata period of our lifetime, because we have kapha when we're young, pitta when we're adolescent, and then vata, which things are more dry, things are more crackly, joints are stiffer, and so this warm oil massage is key. And if you can go get a professional Abhyanga massage, maybe you have an Ayurvedic health clinic near you, go for it. The other element I want to add in today, before we get to the yoga part, so we're almost there, good. I wanted to get more yoga in today, more asana, is the idea of aligning with the rhythms of nature and with the energies of the day. And that is to eat at regular times. And there are specific times that are recommended based on the dosha of the day, but I'm not even going to go into that because I think with a lot of us, because our lives are crazy, because we're running here, running there, we're eating a lot of cold foods, a lot of processed foods, a lot of fast foods, or we're skipping meals. And that is also a lot of for those of us in the West and definitely in the United States. I'm in Mexico, and there's not a lot of fast food. I mean, there's fast food, but it's a lot more whole foods. You can definitely get processed foods and junk foods. It definitely exists, but there's more regularity of time. So I want you to think about, as best you can, to eat at regular times, morning, midday, and evening. Make your midday as much as you can, your heaviest meal, your biggest meal. It's when you can digest it most. And make your evening meal light, a much lighter meal with more easily digested foods. So not processed, not fried, not heavy. Foods that are hard to digest might be, there's a whole list of them, but heavy red meat is very difficult harder to digest. Vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower are harder to digest. I'm not saying you can't eat those, but try to eat those midday. And I didn't want to go deep into like what exactly to eat, because that is something I do individually with folks based on your taste, based on your lifestyle, based on all that. We develop what works for you, opposed to sort of this like top down, eat this, eat that, because that never works. But soups, anything that's warm and cooked. So any kind of food that's warm and cooked, like a stew or a soup, even at night, is easier on your digestive system. And just as a general rule, eat more whole foods. Like, look at the ingredients better. Don't have foods that you don't have to look at the ingredients, that you know what they are. They're sitting on your table. There's an apple, there's flour, there's a banana, you know what it is. And if you're going to be eating food that's prepared, which is not recommended as such, make sure that you're just eating more whole foods, more one ingredient foods. So this interpreter life of running around, I mean, it's modern life, isn't it? But I think some people have really stressful, busy lives, but they're at one place while they're working. And maybe while they're working, they're running around like a chicken with its head cut off. But a lot of interpreters, freelance, are running from here to there to there to there. And even if you're working, say, at a school, you could have a regular schedule, but you could be pulled here and pulled there and pulled there. So as much routine as you can cultivate, the best. And some of us are more prone to routines, or we like routines, which is great. And some of us, like myself, have to kind of be forced into it, and then we realize how beneficial it is. Okie dokie. So we're going to get into the yoga portion. And I want to mention that yoga, even in itself, is a truly whole person approach. Like, for an interpreter, you need to be, well, for every human being, but interpreters even more so, restoring the nervous system, stretching the body, and strengthening the body. And yoga, learned, taught, and practiced well, can and does all of that. And overdoing, pushing, and no matter what you do, whether it's yoga or going to the gym, can be a problem, and so can underdoing. Both of those can be a problem. So a lot of people think like, oh, I just need to relax and lay around and do like relaxing yoga. But that can become a problem because you're not developing the strength that you need. And speaking particularly about yoga, most you see now, it's a piece. So you have this whole meal. It's got every nutrient you need. And a piece is taken out to create a general class or a YouTube video, and so that it's easy for everybody to digest, but it's just one piece. And then if you don't know that there's a whole meal, you're not either in a system or working with someone who knows that there's a whole meal, who's helping you, I'm going to continue the metaphor, process this meal bite by bite. You're either trying to eat the whole thing at once, or you don't even know, you're just eating this one thing. You don't know that there's this whole meal out there. I hope that metaphor plays out. So you do need something that understands your body, where it needs to adapt and where it needs to be pushed, and at what pace. And this is, of course, why when I work one-on-one, it is the most effective, because it's really based on your pace, and I get to know you and what you need next. And I hold this vision of where you can go. You don't even know, you can't even imagine where you're going to go. So that's how I work with students one-on-one. But whatever you're doing, make sure that it's understanding the particular stresses that your body has, where it needs adaptation and where it needs pushing forward, and a plan with step-by-step goals and a way to check in and make sure that you're moving forward on that plan. All right, I'm going to check to see if there's any comments on the YouTube channel and in Zoom before we go ahead. You will need, your space, a chair, your belt, if you have it. A wall or chair is helpful. Okay, so let's do some movement. let's move our energy. So before we even begin, and you can do this standing. A lot of this you can do seated. Some of the arm work we can do seated. But as you just stand here, look in one place and just feel your legs. Just do a check-in. You might even close your eyes. Notice your breath. Notice how your shoulders feel, your back feels, just in general, how your body and your mind feels. So we're going to come check back with this. This is going to be our variable, our experiment, and we're going to keep coming back. Actually, the variable will be the asanas. This is their base point. So take your belt or no belt, and we're going to do our shoulder circles. So plant your feet. It's really important that you feel your feet. This is something that can be really helpful in our work because we are taken out of ourselves to be in other people's worlds. So as many times during the day you can come back, feel your feet, and ground your feet into the floor and feel your legs underneath you. Like connect back to your own body and your own home. This is so important. So when you get a little toppled or you feel anxious or you feel like stressed out, just come here. Matter of fact, take your belt off and we'll do standing breath because we did this the other day. So we'll do this here. So we're just going to take you can close your eyes, you can keep your eyes open. You can be seated, that's fine. You can be standing, and you're going to take a nice full inhalation and a long exhalation. Another inhalation through your nose and a long, smooth, steady exhalation. Keep going. I'm going to connect your breath to different actions. So as you inhale, feel your kneecaps rising up, your waist rising up, your chest rising up, the crown of your head rising up. And as you exhale, feel your feet grounding down, not just into the floor, but into the earth underneath you. As you inhale, rise up through the legs, the torso, the crown of your head. And as you exhale, let your shoulder blades release downward towards your buttocks and your heels. One more like this. Inhale. And exhale. And then check in with how you feel. This could be the most important part that you learn in this event, is how to notice the difference. So here we are, we're going to take our shoulder circles, and we're going to take, let's do 5 of these. You're going to take your arms forward and up. Now, maybe you've been doing this for the last 3 days, and your shoulders are more open, and you can bring your hands closer to one another. Inhale and exhale. Inhale as your arms go up and around. Keep your elbows straight. And then release your belt. Just bring onto my screen so I can see my schedule. And feel the difference between what you just felt 2 minutes ago and what you feel now. And now extend your arms. I was just getting what I'm going to teach today up and on my computer so I can see it. There we go. Turn the arms out to the side. Now extend. Say you have a wall to the right, a wall to the left. And when you reach your shoulders towards your elbows and your elbows towards your fingers. Turn your palms up so much that your arms go further back behind you, and then lift your arms up and extend up so the sides of your waist become long and tall. Look forward. Keep that tallness. Take your arms to the side and press down as if you're pushing down on 2 big heavy springs. So as you take your arms down, your chest goes up. We'll do this 3 more times. Turn your palms out. Inhale, come up. Just go as far as your elbows can remain straight. Exhale, keep your sternum lifting, keep your chest lifting, keep the crown of your head lifting as you take your arms down. Turn your arms out, inhale, lift your arms up. This time, with your right arm, turn your palm out and swing it up to the opposite side. I'm going to turn around so you can see. And then bend your other elbow and reach your fingers towards each other. Even if they're down here, saw your hands closer. If you can grab hold, grab hold. Extend your elbows away from one another. And then release your arms and take them up alongside your ears again. And take your other arm underneath, bend your elbow, reach your fingers towards each other, or grab hold of your fingers and extend your elbows away from each other. Reach your arms up and other side. Reach like your fingers are longing to touch, and then arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and Gomukhasana. Go is cow, Mukha is face. Extend your elbows away from one another, and then reach your arms up, and exhale, take your arms down. Now we'll take Ardha Uttanasana, the one that's on the wall. If you didn't catch day 1, 2, you can always watch first. I'll repeat it twice. I'm at shoulder height, and my feet are about the width of my mat, and I'm going to push the wall and push my hips back. So here I'm not doing, here I'm doing. So the sides of my torso are getting long. Okay, so start with your hands at your shoulders, turn your fingers out. Walk your feet back. You want your heels underneath your hips. So you're going to develop a little proprioception here. And push the wall to move your hips back. And move your hips back to open the armpits. Keep the ears between your arms and lengthen your sternum towards the wall and your tailbone behind you. To the wall behind you. And then walk your feet forward. Now stay here. You're looking at the wall. Arms are down by your sides. And observe how you feel. And as I said in the last 2 days, you can put some language on that. Like, how is your breath? How does your body feel? Your spine feel? Your armpits feel? Your shoulders feel? The next one we're going to do, you need to be an arm's distance away from the wall. So I'll show first. I'm going to take my hands to the wall in the same way, only this time I'm going to walk or lunge that leg back. So now I have one leg forward, one leg back, and my hip is going to go away from the wall. And then I come forward. Now if the wrist, this is too much on the wrist, you can certainly put your hand on top of a table and do this. If your legs are quite tight, this is too much, your legs aren't straightening, your knees are buckling, you just need to raise your hands up, a windowsill, a table, a kitchen counter. Get creative. Okay, here we go. So left leg goes all the way back, and your right hip moves back, right buttock moves back, and push the wall. Push the wall to move your buttocks back, lengthen your spine by pushing your hips back. And most of us have tight shoulders, so let your shoulders move down towards the floor. So as you do that, your back moves down towards the floor. And your ears go below your arms. And then step your leg forward. Take your arms down by your sides. Take a breath. You're looking at the wall, so you're not distracted. You're in your own experience. Place your hands at the wall and lunge your right leg back. It should be a nice, good distance between your legs. Back heel is on the floor. Legs are straight. Push your knees back. Lift your knees up. Push the wall. Hips back. Buttocks back. Shoulders down. And then step your back foot forward. We're going to go, you can pause there and take a break. Those who want to do more, you're going to repeat. So left leg is back. Exhale, push the wall and push your hips back. Inhale, step forward. Take an inhalation, and then on your next exhalation, step back with your right leg, and your left hip is going back. Now, some of you might be pushing your left hip back, but your left big toe is coming up. Push the left big toe mound on the floor and move the left hip back. You're going to feel that a lot. And then step your legs forward. Stay at the wall, eyes at the wall, and just makes it sound like it's not important, but it's very important to feel your own feet, your legs, your breath, your body, your whole experience. Okay. The next pose we're going to do is seated on the floor. And a lot of us, when we sit on the floor, it looks like this. So if you this is you, maybe your legs are down, but your back is down. You have a couple choices. Sit up on a very high pillow or bolster. So that will lift your spine up. But if you do this and your legs are still up by your ears, I suggest just sit on a chair, and you'll do this in a chair. We're going to do a twist. So sit in the chair sideways, like this, whatever chair you have. And you can take your hands to a wall, and you're going to turn like that on your chair. And then you'll flip around and do the other side. The rest of us will be sitting on the floor, right leg in, left leg out. And you're going to turn towards your right. So your left hand comes outside your right leg, and your right hand, and if you have a wall, you can take your hand to the wall, fingertips on the floor, or on the pillow. Inhale, lift up, exhale, turn. 3 times. Inhale, lift up, exhale, turn. Actually, we're going to do twice. The breath. Come back to center, and then turn to your other side. I'm going to use this wall. So I'm going to turn. If your hand doesn't touch, you do need to have something, right? So put your hand on something. Inhale, lift up, exhale, turn. So important to lift up out of the crown of your head and then turn. So you're spiraling up as you turn. Come back to center, and then I'm just turning around because you can see my front. You're going to extend your legs out, and now your left leg is going to come in, then your right leg. And this time you're going to lift your arms up and then turn towards your right. So those on your chair, you're just going to swivel to the other side. So you're turning towards your right. Come back to center. Inhale on the chair, swivel to your left side. Exhale, turn towards your left. Inhale, get taller, and exhale, turn. Turn your belly, turn your rib cage, turn your chest, and last, turn your head. Come back to center. Pause here. Again, take your eyes in one place. It could be down on the floor in front of you, but not low, so your chin stays parallel to the floor. Notice your breath, how your body feels, how your back feels. You can repeat this as many times. Back twists are incredible for your back. If it doesn't feel good on your back, just don't do it for this event. These are the kinds of things to reach out to me so I can help you more. But if that really is a problem on your back, then there's other things that you would do before that, is what I'm trying to say. So reach out. Share in the Facebook group. You can always text me or DM me. Okay. You should watch this one first because your eyes are going to be up at the ceiling. I'm holding the edge of my mat, and I'm going to lift the legs up. And then I'm going to turn around this way because I do want you to see my shoulders. So I'm going to move my arms in closer and interlace the fingers. So I walked in so that my shoulders, my arms are underneath me and I'm way up on the tops of my shoulders. If that's not happening, hold the edges of your sticky mat and get your shoulders arms as close as possible. This is yoga. You don't have to do it all today, but know that that's where you can go. Just practice. Press your heels down, lift your buttocks up. Press your arms down and lift your back up. Lift your shoulders up. And then exhale, come down. We're going to repeat this another time. This is called Chatushpadasana. Chat is 4, so it's the 4-footed pose. And it's an incredible pose to counteract all sitting at a computer, driving, interpreting, and then lift your hips up, interlace your fingers the other way,
and go way up. See if you can get closer, your arms closer. And now lift your pelvis up, press your arms down, lift your back up. So your sternum goes closer to your face. And then lower your back down. That's it. Pause. And just take a breath. You did it. For some of you, you could do 20 more of these. For others, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. So wherever you are is perfect. And wherever you are, feel the effects. If you want to do 5 more, you're on your own. Go for it. If your back this isn't enough with the knees bent, you could bring your knees together, feet out to the side. But the next pose we're doing is going to really help your back. So you're going to use a chair. So I roll over. Maybe you're close to your couch or your chair, and you can just swivel over and put your legs up on your chair. And I shifted, if you caught that, I put my legs up and then I shifted my hips a little bit back. I don't lift my buttocks up, but I just shift my hips back so there's a little diagonal line, so my legs are not perpendicular. And then turn your palms up and enjoy how open your chest feels. Get a pillow for your head if you need one. So I spoke about on day 2 the position of the head and how to adjust for that. And let your back melt into the floor. And I hope some of you have tried this these past couple days, 2 to 5 minutes, and how incredibly powerful. It's so simple, this pose. It looks like nothing. But it resets the shoulders, the back, the hips, and the mind and the nervous system. Completely relax. We're going to stay here a little bit today. Just about another, almost a minute. So as I stay quiet, you listen and feel your own breath. Now take a big inhalation. If you want to just stay here, you can. If you got the time, stay there. When you're ready to come out, you slowly make sure that you are coming out of this with grace and compassion for yourself. You're not flinging yourself from one thing to the next. You slowly and carefully come out. And when you come out, whether you're coming out now or later, you are noticing again, observing, feeling the benefits and the effect of your efforts, your practice here. So that concludes our day 3. I want to remind you to practice. We meet again tomorrow. So do this practice later on today, even if you just put your legs up on the chair. You get immediate benefit from this for sure, but it's practice, practice, practice. Continue to adjust your sleep times, and it's hard with the holidays, so it's a challenge, but as best you can, start to regulate your eating times so that there's a regular morning, afternoon, evening. And I want you to go back and pick a random day in 2025, or could be just last week, and see how many times during the week you are moving your body, nourishing your mind, and restoring your energy. What activities are there? And just do a little inventory. See if that's happening for you on a regular basis. Join the Facebook group if you haven't. If you have, I'm leaving each day. There's a reflection period. So anything that comes up, a thought, an experience, a question, put it in there and tag me so I can respond to that. And I will see you tomorrow for our next to last session. So tomorrow we'll add on to what we've been doing today. And then our last session on the last session, because some people will be watching this in different dates, will be about creating a plan that works for you based on what you've done this week. Oh, and practice the Abhyanga. I'm going to post a link to a YouTube video in the Facebook group, and practice that, even if you just do your hands and your feet, and then tell me how it feels. Share with us. All right, I'm going to come close to make sure if there's any comments I've missed. Otherwise, I will stay for as long as there are questions. Otherwise, I wish you an incredibly healthy and happy holiday.